Hey guys, this is Kate, and I have a quick little gift tag project for you. Sorry this is so late, but I think that you could use these concepts and techniques for any sort of gift giving. So here's some examples of the different gift tags that I've made this year. I've made a whole ton of them, and the process is the same. I just use different stamps, different colors of embossing powder, and different background stamps. So I'm going to show you the supplies that I'm using and then give you a step-by-step guide. So the first thing that you'll need are some shipping tags. And I have all different kinds. I have some that are just the regular manila tags, some white ones, and some cream. The white ones are from Michaels and the cream are from Hobby Lobby. I also have some washi tape in two different widths, and they're both wider than normal. I use these to mask off an area for my sentiment. And I'll show you that in detail here in a second. So now we're going to get started making a card, or a tag. So I'm going to lay down my shipping tag here in just a second. And I'm going to take a strip of this washi and place it at the bottom. And now I know that that height, my sentiment will fit inside of that space that I'm creating. So just make sure that whatever stamp you're using, that the width, you use coordinating washi tape or post-it note or whatever you want to use to mask off. Make sure you leave enough room. Here's some of the background stamps I've been really liking to use: the chevron, the diagonal stripe, and the wood grain. The wood grain is Impression Obsession. The diagonal is Market Street Stamps, and the zigzag is Hero Arts. I also use Versamark ink and an embossing tool. This is from Ink and Inkadoo. And what this does is it basically ensures that the embossing powder only sticks to your Versamark ink. So I'll go ahead and rub that all over the tag to begin with. This is a pretty important step when you're using a background stamp to emboss with, just because you want to have nice clean lines and you don't want to have embossing powder everywhere. So I like to lay my background stamps flat on my work surface. I don't have a block big enough, so I just apply the ink directly to the stamp, and then I will lay the tag face down on top of the stamp. At which point I will use a piece of scratch paper in my hand to make sure I get a nice even impression. But if you have a brayer, this is the perfect time to use it. I don't have one, so I just make do. You'll also want to make sure that you give a good bit of pressure around that reinforcer, because it's a little bit thicker than the rest of the tag, and if you don't, it can get a little mucky in that area. It won't pick up the ink as well. So you just want to make sure that you give it a little extra attention there. And I'm going to get my embossing powder. For this, I'm using the Recollections Tinsel Gold embossing powder. It's great. It's kind of glittery, but it's better than any glitter embossing powder I've ever used because it actually stays on, and I guess the ratio is different. There's more embossing powder than glitter maybe, so it really doesn't flake off everywhere, and it keeps that nice shimmery look to it. I just store mine in these little Tupperware containers with a plastic spoon, the ones that I use the most frequently. Not all of my embossing powder is stored this way, but since I've been making all these tags, it just makes it so much easier because you can just flick any excess off right back into the container, and you don't have to worry about trying to get it back into its original packaging. So now I'm going to heat set this. So if you're unfamiliar with embossing, you'll need some sort of heat tool. Ranger makes one. This one's by Milwaukee. I'm pretty sure they're still available. I've seen like Jennifer McGuire and some other people use this particular one. I've had this since I was about 7 years old, so that's testament that it lasts for a very long time. And I did not fast forward this part, so you're going to see in real time how long it takes to emboss. It also will very clearly let you know when it's ready, because it will completely change color and almost lighten up. And if you see any patches where the color is not the same, it's probably not fully embossed, so you just want to go back over it. Also, sometimes when you emboss, it can warp your paper if you're using thin paper. It doesn't really happen with a shipping tag because it's thick, but a way to alleviate that problem is just to apply some heat from the back of the on the back of the paper, and it will kind of warp it back the other way, and you'll end up back at square one. So that's kind of a good tool. You also want to make sure that this cools down, because if you touch it while it's still warm, it will definitely smear like ink will. Also, the washi tape can stick if you try to pull it off when it's still hot. So what I do in the meantime is pick out my sentiments that I'm going to be using for this tag. This is a stamp set by Paper Smooches. I can't remember the name of it. I store my stamps in these 5x8 bags, and so I don't have the original packaging with the name on it, but I'll look it up and put it in the information below if I can remember to do that. This is a great way to store your stamps too, by the way, because you don't have to keep opening them out of that cellophane packaging that can rip and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be using the December 25 stamp. I love this stamp. I think it's super cute, and like I said, I ahead of time made sure that it would fit in that area that I masked off. So now I'm going to take off the apply my stamp to a block first, a clear block. Then I'm going to take off the washi tape to reveal the area that is not embossed, because that's where I'm going to be doing my stamping. You could do the stamping first, then apply the washi tape over the stamp where you've stamped, and then do the embossing, but I tend to do it this way because I can do multiple at a time, and I just find that it's easier to get straight and that kind of stuff if I do it this way. I'm just using some StazOn ink to stamp this. It's one of my favorite black inks. It's really great for solid images. I tend to use VersaFine black ink for sentiments that are a smaller font or a more intricate font. It tends to do better, but I like the richness of the StazOn black with this stamp because of the type is a little bolder. Now I'm going to take this roller stamp from, it's actually from J. Crew, the clothing store, and it just has some really cute holiday words. It has a great to from. So I stamped the to and the from on the back, and then I'll just turn it to a little sentiment that says jingle all the way and stamp that at the bottom because I just think it's really cute and adds a nice little touch. And then all you'll need to do is put some twine or string or however you want to attach it to your package. And like I said, you could use this method for birthday cards or Valentine's Day or anything. So I hope you all have enjoyed and you're having a great holiday season, and I'll talk to you real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.